2 grams of cefazolin.
Pinprick.
No, when they first told us there was not going to be any background music,
Yeah.
we were like, okay, this is either going to really work or it's really not going to.
Yeah.
It's what makes it feel so real. It feels like we're kind of bringing you into it.
It's the right case.
I want to know what your audition process was like.
I think it was a 2-show day. I had an audition for a medical show and an audition for a CIA show. I could barely remember the lines and I was like, I feel so frazzled, and I started having a meltdown. I was like, you know what? I shouldn't even audition. No one's gonna believe me as a doctor.
Dying to know what this medical boot camp was like.
Taught us how to intubate, taught us how to suture. You can memorize lines all you want, but I actually don't know the ins and outs of where this information goes, and watch videos of what is the procedure so I can kind of see it in my mind. I think that really tests you to be like, do you actually want to do this?
People in the healthcare world that do have that really tough exterior that they put on, and there's a whole other side. What's the first thing that goes through your mind?
I was nervous. I think we've seen a lot of misuse of self-harm plot lines. If we're doing this, then we have to really do it right. A lot of it is hoping that people walk away with more empathy for healthcare professionals. It's human stories. The insecurities that all of her behaviors come from, she's a human being. I do kind of connect a lot to her mental health struggles. I definitely was nervous, but also happy that it was being talked about.
Lemon Drops, this episode today is truly one for the books. I have Isa Briones on the show today, and she actually stars in one of my, if not my favorite show that's out right now, The Pitt. If you have not watched The Pitt, it's a medical drama on HBO, and it truly is one of the best shows out there. And you need to watch it if you haven't. It has honestly just swept every award show because this show is so good. The way they do it is, coming from a healthcare professional, the way they do the show truly is so good. And you're really able to see what healthcare workers go through. And it's one of my favorite shows. So I'm honored to have Isa with me today. And we just kind of dive into everything, her background, how she got the Pitt, what it's like being on the Pitt. The Pitt really covers some tough topics, and it's really just something that engulfs you as a viewer, and getting to hear what it's like as an actor on the show to be a part of that was truly so special. She is so bright. I adore her. And she's also making her return to Broadway, which we dive into. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear this episode. Well, Isa, welcome to The Squeeze.
Thanks for having me.
This is so exciting because I'm obsessed with the Pitt.
Thank you.
It's literally my favorite. I have a background in nursing.
Yes, I know.
So
I'm why don't watch?
Well, okay, it's so funny because I put it off for a really long time.
Yeah.
And because I have I worked during COVID, and then I had really bad PTSD, depression, all the things I had to leave for my mental health.
Yeah.
And so I was really not wanting to watch it. Yeah. And I just had so many friends, they were like, it's so good. And then it was just doing so well. The reputation was so good.
You're I guess I have to.
Yeah. And I've never watched a medical show. I never watched Grey's. I never watched anything.
I've never been a big medical show person either.
Yeah. And my husband too, he was like, what's the hype about this? Yeah. And I was like, well, I don't know. I kind of want to watch. And it's now it's so funny to say, but it's literally my comfort show.
Okay, and I've heard this from children too. There are children out there that are that's my comfort show. And I'm what does that say about the state of the world?
Yeah.
That our kids are this is my comforting thing. But I've always been with any healthcare professionals that watch the show, I'm don't do this to yourself. You're at work all day. Don't go back to work at night. But it's also, I think I don't know, we talk a lot about representation matters, and it's this is one of those things where it's having your experience represented and feeling I'm not doing that right now, but I'm seeing that someone sees what I do.
Yeah. I think because it's so the audio, it's just you're there. There's no other audio that's playing.
No, when they first told us there was not going to be any background music, we were okay, this is either going to really work or it's really not going to.
Yeah.
But it's what makes it feel so real. And it also makes you feel you're a part of it. You're not watching a show. You're
exactly
in it with the actors, and so it feels like we're kind of bringing you into it.
Yeah. It's so good. Okay, well, we start each episode with this jar, a little game called Citrus Got Real. If you want to pull a little piece of paper out of there and read it to our lemon drops, those are our listeners.
Lemon drops. Hey, lemon
I didn't place that one there, just so you know. It was kind of sitting like right there open.
What's your most used emoji?
Ooh.
I mean, I use
I was just going to say, I think it's that.
I use the hand hearts.
Yeah.
But I also use the like melting face a lot.
Uh-huh. Oh, I use the salute a lot.
Me too. No, it's like if someone's like, okay, girls, we're going to the bar at this time. It's like, yep, literally. But most of my days are like the melting face.
Yeah, that's that.
It kind of applies to everything. It's like either good melting or there could be really bad melting.
Very versatile. It is a very versatile emoji. I love that. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to like dive into your story. Obviously, we're going to get into the pit. But I want to get into like where your love for performing came from, because you've been doing this for like a long time.
For a while. Yeah. And well, my parents started out as musical theater actors. And so when I was born in London just because my dad happened to be closing out the West End production of Miss Saigon that month.
Yeah.
And he hadn't even been doing it during that time for a while. It's not like he was in the West End production the whole time. It was just like, they found out they were pregnant with me. They were broke in New York, and they were like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And then they were like, hey, can you come back for the last few months to close out the production? And so I just was born there because they were there.
Yeah.
And then throughout my life until I was like 9, my dad was doing different tours of Miss Saigon, like the European tour. We were in the Philippines for a while, which is where my dad is from. And so, but yeah, I was just kind of always around actors.
Yeah.
And I think always being around theater is such a special thing because it's so ensemble based. And you develop such a love of like, oh, everyone doing it together.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love the most about acting is I like, who wants to do it in a vacuum?
Yeah.
Like that's what made like COVID and auditioning in COVID so weird, because you're like, I'm just doing now. All of a sudden it's all self-tape. I'm in a room alone. Sometimes you don't even have a reader with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to FaceTime your friends and then position their computer behind the camera. And it just feels so like, oh, this is not what I love about the thing I chose to do with my life. It's the being around people and working together. And so that's always been a part of my life. And even when we moved to LA for the first time, because my parents were like, maybe we should give the kids some semblance of a normal life. And they're like, let's try auditioning for film and TV. And that wasn't going great because that is a really hard business to break into.
Yeah.
And so it was many years of us just kind of auditioning and not getting anywhere. But the first thing that they did, because they were like, we need community, like, because none of our family was in LA, like we were the only ones that we knew. And so they're like, well, we love theater, so let's do theater. And they did local theater, did a production of Ragtime at a 99-seat theater. And again, what I love about theater people is like, doing theater in LA, you are not making money. If anything, you are probably losing money to do it. And that's what makes the community of LA theater so special, because it's like, oh, people just have to do that. It's like, I have to do theater. I love it so much that I'm even going to lose money so I can do it. And that was a lot of my like formative years, was just being around theater people who were like, I have to do this.
Wow, that's so special. Did you ever feel like, did it feel pressure? I'm sure it felt supportive from your parents, but because like they both had a background in that, did you ever feel pressure to like live up to that?
Well, I don't know. And also when I like first, I don't remember this, but my parents told me that when we moved to LA, I asked them pretty quickly, like, so when can I audition for things?
Aww.
And they were like, oh,
yeah,
God.
Were they excited about that or not?
They were definitely like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, we've doomed her. Because, you know, when you've been in this business, especially in theater and like trying to break into film and TV, it's hard, and it's mostly rejection. And and so they were like, oh God, we doomed our kids to a really hard life. But I think, but of course they were like, we can't be hypocrites. Like that would be crazy. We were like, no. Which I have met actors who are like, I will not let my child be an actor.
That's why I asked, because Taylor is like, I mean, I've always told, I grew up, I danced my whole life. Like I love performing, and obviously he's acted since he was a child. And I'm like, hun, like our kid, like they're definitely going to have that gene. He's like, he's like, I'm not going to put them in it, but I think if they ask, we're not going to be like, no, you can't do this. Yeah. But he's so like, he's nervous. He's definitely like a little nervous.
My parents definitely were very scared. And I've thought about this too myself. Of like one day if I ever have a kid, like they were like, yeah, we were really nervous. What if they're not good? They're like, they're like, we want to support our child. But like, what if they're not good? Like that'll be so. And my parents and my dad says this all the time. He's like, thank God our kids are good, because that would have been a really rough time. I didn't because my brother is also an actor, and we both started auditioning very young. No, but they were always so supportive, and I think what is so special about it was like we all got to struggle together for a long time. It wasn't like I was born and they were like off. I mean, they were doing theater and that was like paying the bills and okay for a while until I was 9, and then for like probably a decade, it was like, okay, we're auditioning, but you know, my dad was a massage therapist as well. My mom got her realtor's license, and just trying to keep us afloat while also still pursuing that dream. And they were so scared to like pass that life on to us. But I'm like, thank God that was what I grew up with. And I didn't enter just like success and fame. It was like, no, this is what it is. Yeah. 1% experience like the really cool, glamorous side of it. Yeah. But I got to really see the hard work that goes into it. Yeah. And I think that really tests you to be like, do you actually want to do this? Yeah. Because I think there are a lot of people who go into it assuming it's going to be really easy and exciting all the time. And I think because we saw all sides of it, it was like, okay, if you're going to do this, it means you love it, and you love the working at it and working towards something. And now having like the Pitt is beyond my wildest dreams of because we've seen such hardship with it. I'm like, I didn't even think this was possible. And now to be able to like look at my parents and be like, look at what we did. This is crazy.
No, that's so sweet. I know. I saw you brought your dad with you to actor awards. Yeah. That was like, now like just hearing all that, like that just like,
it was really
makes it so much like,
it was really beautiful. I was very emotional the whole day because I think you can also get so much chaos is happening in those things. I'm still very new. I like before the Pitt, I'd never been to an awards show. Like and all of that is so crazy. Yeah. And you can be so wrapped up in like, okay, you have to go here, take these pictures, blah, blah, blah. But I kept just stopping and like looking at my dad and just like tearing up. I was like, oh my God, did we ever think this is where we would be? No, literally, like, because the goal the goal is to be a working actor. Yeah. Which is hopefully you get some guest stars here and there that can pay the bills and you're able to work semi-consistently. That is the goal. Yeah. The fact that now I'm like, get to be a part of a show that I'm employed for multiple seasons, that it has reached this height that people love it, that people know who I am now. It's like, that was not even a thing that I was striving toward. It was just like, I hope I can just do what I love and pay the bills. Yeah. Like, it's really crazy. And it's really special to get to share that with my parents, especially my dad coming from the Philippines. Like he left the Philippines when he was 23. Yeah. And for so long, it was just like, is this even worth it? Do I go home? Do I stay? Like, and now, it's very, very special.
Very like full circle.
Very, very, very full circle. Very That's grateful.
So sweet. I love hearing those types of stories. Obviously, like, it's crazy when people audition for something the first time they've ever acted and then they like do so well. And like, that's great. And the thing
is, I still got success is very early. Like I'm very young and and that is like the privilege of having parents who were going through it at the same time and getting to like jump on it with them was like, I got to start really early.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still, it really is insane to be like, oh, wow, how quickly that happened.
Yeah. It just makes it like so much more sweet that you like genuinely, I love when people just like have a love like for performing and just like genuinely don't care like what the role is and they get to like do it because it's their passion and it's so fun for them.
And you can so quickly forget it.
Yeah.
I think, especially when maybe more success comes, it can then become this like machine. And I think that's been the thing that has freaked me out the most in this version of my career now that has been like the last year and a half, where you see like, oh, I can see how people turn a corner and like maybe go the bad route of all of a sudden not caring about the actual art that they do, not caring about the acting or whatever creative outlet it is for them. And it's just about the pumping it out in the machine and like notoriety and like all that stuff. But it, at the end of the day, you have to, the only way to like stay sane in any sort of way and to also remain so grateful and always checking in with like, I can't believe I'm here. It's like, I'd much rather always live in that than be like, yeah, this is just my life.
Yeah, no, that's so special. We all know people who are absolutely obsessed with their dogs. And honestly, I am 100% one of those people. Remy and Lily are not just pets to me, they are fully a part of the family. And I feel like when you love your dog that much, you really do want to give them the best of everything. And if anyone gets being dog obsessed, it's Ollie. They're so intentional about delivering the best food and experience for both you and your dog. And I love that they make it easy to actually stay on top of your dog's health too. What really stands out to me is that their food is fresh, made with high quality ingredients, developed by real chefs, and backed by vet nutritionists. So you feel really good about what you're feeding your dog. And everything is personalized. From the portions to how it's delivered, it's all tailored specifically to your pup, which just makes it so easy to stay consistent. They also have this feature through their app where you can check in on your dog's health with real vets just by uploading a photo. They look at things like weight, digestion, teeth, coat, which is such a game changer and honestly gives such peace of mind. And I will say, when your dogs are actually excited for food and look forward to mealtime, it makes such a difference. And that's exactly what Ollie is all about. Get ready for both you and your pup to be obsessed. Head to ollie.com/squeeze, tell them all about your dog, and use code SQUEEZE to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer an obsession guarantee. If you're not completely obsessed, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/squeeze and enter code SQUEEZE to get 60% off your first box. Ollie, feed the obsession. Lately, my life has felt like a constant juggling act between work, social plans, travel, trying to move my body, and still show up for myself. There are so many days where my own health ends up taking a back seat. I'll look up and realize I've been running around all day answering emails, hopping from one thing to the next, and haven't actually fueled myself in the way that feels good. And that's exactly where Premier Protein comes in for me. On those busy days when I need something quick, convenient, and actually satisfying, Premier Protein has become my go-to. It's the kind of thing that I can grab without slowing down, but still feel good after choosing. Whether I'm heading out the door, need an afternoon boost, or just want something easy that fits into my routine, it makes fueling myself feel simple instead of stressful. And honestly, it tastes amazing. I always keep the vanilla on hand. It's my favorite flavor, and it makes it so easy to reach for something that I actually enjoy and look forward to having. What I also really appreciate is that Premier Protein fits into real life. It's not just for intense gym sessions or hardcore workout days. It's for everything you need fuel for. With 30 grams of protein and tons of delicious flavors, Premier Protein isn't just for those who get after fitness. It's for those who get after life. It's for squeezing in a walk, showing up to a meeting feeling ready, saying yes to plans with friends, winning game night, or even mastering a new recipe for a dinner party. That's why it feels like such an easy, smart choice. Find your favorite flavor at premierprotein.com. That's PREMIERPROTEIN.com or at Amazon, Walmart, or other major retailers. I didn't realize how much my sleep needed to improve until I actually started sleeping on a better mattress. I thought I was sleeping fine, and then I switched and I was like, wait, do I feel this much more rested? That's honestly how I felt after switching to Brooklyn bedding. The first thing I noticed was how supportive it is. It's the perfect balance where it feels like really solid underneath, but still soft and comfortable on top. It's one of those beds where you lay down and immediately feel the difference. And I love that everything is designed and assembled right in Arizona. There's no middleman, no gimmicks. It's just really high quality craftsmanship at a price that actually makes sense. They also have so many different options depending on how you sleep, which I think is huge because not everyone needs the same thing in a mattress. And if you tend to sleep hot, they use cooling technology to help regulate temperature, which makes such a difference throughout the night. And something else that gave me peace of mind is they're fiberglass free and even endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association for Spinal Alignment and Back Health. So you know it's actually supporting your body the way it should. They offer a 120-night comfort trial so you can really test it out and make sure it's the right fit for you. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use my promo code SQUEEZE at checkout to get 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. That's brooklynbedding.com and promo code SQUEEZE for 30% off site-wide. Support our show and let them know that we sent you after checkout. brooklynbedding.com, promo code SQUEEZE. Okay, let's dive into the pit.
Okay.
I'm very excited. I want to know what your audition process was like. Obviously, you knew it was like I'm sure you just have been like auditioning for things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so, because like I've done TV shows before. I've been lucky enough to be a series regular before, but it's always been like that was a moment and then it dissipated. That was a moment, it dissipated, but there were such wonderful experiences, and that's kind of what you come to expect at that point when it was like I had a season, it didn't get renewed. That's fine. Like move on, like on to the next thing. And I love theater, and at the time when I was auditioning for the Pitt, I was doing Hadestown on Broadway. And that, when you're doing 8 shows a week, it's really hard to like lock in and do auditions at the same time.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Because obviously you only work at night, but the whole day feels like work too, because you are prepping to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And you're constantly having to keep your body in check, your voice in check, just making sure that you are able to do the best job you can at night while staying safe, not hurting yourself, all of those things. So it does feel like an all-day job in a way of kind of forcing self-care in a way. But then you have these auditions coming in because I knew that it was a 4-month run. I knew it was going to end at some point. So I was auditioning. There was a day where I think it was a 2-show day. So I was like, I'm about to go leave for 2 shows. And my boyfriend was helping me. And I had an audition for a medical show and an audition for like a CIA show. And I was like, I like could barely remember the lines. And I was like, I feel so frazzled. And I started having a meltdown. I was like, you know what? I shouldn't even audition. No one's going to believe me as a doctor. Who's going to believe me as a doctor or a CIA agent? Like, it doesn't even matter. And then he was like, okay. So we're just gonna take a breath.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's fine. Just do it. Like, just doesn't even matter. Like, you know what? Read it off the thing. And I did. I had my iPad and I was like, you know what? They have charts. That's fine. Yeah. I'll have my iPad here and I'm reading off of this. And I did it and I was like, that was terrible. No one's gonna believe me. Whatever. And I like sent it off. And I feel like it's always those auditions in my experience.
Yeah.
The ones where you're like, that was terrible. It doesn't even matter. No one's going to even watch it. That are the ones that go actually become fruitful. And then, when I was still doing the show and I had like a Zoom call back. I was the only one of the American cast, I think, that didn't go in person at all because I just couldn't because I was the schedule that I had. And so a Zoom call back and then another one. And so it was a pretty quick process because it was so like we're up and running in like June.
Yeah.
All while doing the 8 shows a week. And then my run was always planned to end. It was a week before the show started filming, but it was in the middle of the 2 weeks of medical boot camp.
Yes.
And they were like, you can't miss that. You have to go to that. So for my last week of shows, I missed Tuesday through Friday with like personal days. Went to LA, did medical boot camp, had my best friend's wedding. I went to go to that. And then that night at like 3 a.m. flew back to New York, did my evening Saturday show, and then my Sunday matinee with my bags at the airport, and then flew right back to LA and started the Pitt, which was crazy. Kind of a whirlwind. But I also think theater people, that's what you're primed for.
Yeah.
Because that's also the dream. It's like, God, thank God I'm booked and blessed.
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure everything
so true.
works.
Yeah.
But definitely a crazy start to a very intense process.
Yeah. Well, I'm dying to know what this medical boot camp was like. I'm so curious.
Well, we were on the stages at Warner Brothers.
Okay.
So we had like a big empty stage. It was before it was being used. It was also still very soon after kind of recovering from the SAG strike, from all the strikes. So like nothing was filming on Warner Brothers. It was ghost town. We were the only production for months.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had like a big empty soundstage and these foldable tables and a whiteboard and these incredible doctors, half of whom work with us every day. And consulting is not the word, because they are choreographing, they are teaching us constantly. And they are writing, they're in the writer's room as well. And yeah, we just kind of got a little 2-week crash course in our 2-week med school. But the thing is, they couldn't obviously really teach us too much in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I think really the biggest takeaway of it was showing us what questions we should ask, is how I kind of viewed it. Obviously, we ran through some of the basic procedures, like taught us how to intubate, taught us how to suture, taught us how to do pericardiocentesis, like all of these different things on dummies. But the biggest takeaway was like, oh, now I know when I go into a scene, because we had a lot of prep time for that first episode, but after that, it's like you're off to the races. There's no time to rehearse and do all of that.
Yeah.
So we had to like take that time to be like, now we know going into every time we enter a trauma scene, to make it go as smoothly as possible, what are the questions I need to ask? And the main thing for me was like, oh yeah, I'm saying jargon. Where am I looking? What am I looking at? Where am I getting this information from? Who am I saying it to? That was the biggest thing. It's like, you can memorize lines all you want, but I actually don't know the ins and outs of where this information goes and what it really means. And also I found it makes it so much easier to memorize these lines that to someone who is not a healthcare professional sounds like gibberish.
Yeah.
To actually know exactly what you're talking about. So I think they did a great job of overviewing certain basic procedures, but then whenever I have like a new trauma scene, I always look it up and I'm like, okay, watch videos of like, what is the procedure, so I can kind of see it in my mind.
Yeah.
That way, when I have to say these words, it's like, I understand what it is. Because
Yeah.
if you're saying it and you know nothing, it's like, that's just going to go right out of my head.
No, for sure. Yeah, and you depending on what you're saying, like your body language and like how you're like actually like saying it definitely changes.
Getting to talk to so many different doctors too. Me being so far from the medical field before this, I think you just think of medical professionals as like these heroes, obviously, but in a way that can be such a disservice to their humanity. Where it's like, oh, these people they're superheroes. They're saving lives. Nothing affects them and they're so strong and like blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, they're very strong and they are amazing and they're heroes and they're human beings who are going through their own shit, who are getting affected by cases and have to be the strong one for the family, for the patient. There's so much mentally that goes into it. And so getting to talk to all these different doctors and be like, oh, right, yeah, you're a human being. You have a personality. Your personality is very different than that person. And being like, right, I'm not playing a doctor. I'm playing I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Who's just a person.
Yeah.
And that was a cool kind of breaking down of the wall of this this artifice that it's like, oh, this is someone who isn't affected by anything, because that's not an interesting thing to play.
Yeah.
And it's also just not true. And so that was a really great help from getting to talk to all of these doctors and nurses and seeing their unique personalities come through and how that comes through in high stress situations and through the medicine.
Yeah. No, that's so true. I mean, obviously there's like little things in the show that I love I love when they show someone going to the bathroom. Like I love, like in the first season, like they literally follow like Noah the whole time. And then it's like episode
trying
like
to go to the bathroom.
Finally pees. I'm like, this is like, so like, it's like little things like that I'm like, it's cool. Cause it like you were saying, the way it dives into like each character being an actual human and like having their own thing going on. Like they're not just this superhero at work. I think that's like really what like draws you into, because it's like a reminder that they really are humans. And
because we've gotten shows before where you get a lot of personality, but you also aren't seeing a whole lot of medicine.
Yeah.
And so getting to marry the two makes it the most realistic it can be.
Yeah. There's something about opening a can of soda that just feels so nostalgic. Like it instantly takes you back. And I feel like for me, that's always tied to the little moments, like an afternoon treat or wanting something fun to drink. But I feel like as I've gotten older, I've really tried to be more mindful about what I'm drinking day to day, which is why I love Olipop. It really does taste like a classic soda, but it's made in a completely different way. It has a functional ingredient blend, it's high in fiber, low in sugar, and it actually supports digestive health. I love so many flavors of Olipop. I feel like it's hard for me to pick, but the strawberry vanilla one just does something for me. I am obsessed with the flavor. It's just this like fun little treat for me to have throughout the day, and I know that I'm not having to sacrifice anything drinking it. 2 out of 3 Americans say they deal with digestive issues, and 95% of people aren't getting enough fiber. So I love that Olipop is tackling both of those things in a way that still feels fun and easy. And I think that's why it's become such an easy swap, because you still get the same nostalgic soda experience, but in a way that feels so much better for your body. I also feel like it's one of those things that I reach for in the afternoon when I want a little pick-me-up or just something that feels like a little treat without overthinking it. And for our listeners today, you can get a free can of Olipop. Buy any 2 cans of Olipop in store and we'll pay you back for one. Works on any flavor at any retailer. Visit drinkolipop.com/squeeze. Olipop is sold online at drinkolipop.com and Amazon and is available in the soda aisle and with the chilled beverages at thousands of retailers nationwide, including Walmart, Target, Costco, and Whole Foods. Cheers. I feel like there's this idea if you're eating well and taking care of yourself, you don't really need to think about anything else. But the reality is you can't out-exercise or out-eat every single gap in your nutrition. And I think that's something I didn't fully realize until I started paying closer attention to my routine. Like even when you're doing all the right things, there's still gaps that can happen. And that's kind of how I started thinking about my multivitamin too. It's not there to replace a healthy lifestyle, it's there to support it. Because even when you're doing your best, there are so many factors that can impact what your body is actually getting, like your diet, your lifestyle, even things like how food is grown today. It's not always as straightforward as we think. That's why I like having something like Ritual as part of my routine. It just feels like an easy way to stay consistent and support my body without complicating things. You guys have heard me talk about this, that I've been taking Ritual's Essential for Women 18 and older multivitamin, and I've just made it a part of my day. It's something I take consistently and don't really have to think twice about anymore, which I think is key. I like that it's simple. It's just 2 capsules a day. They're designed to be delayed release for better absorption. It also has 9 key nutrients that your body actually needs, and they're gentle on your stomach, which I really appreciate. They even have this slight minty essence to it, which makes them easier to take. Another thing I really appreciate is how transparent they are about what's in their products. Everything is vegan, non-GMO, and tested for heavy metals and allergens, which gives me peace of mind knowing exactly what I'm putting into my body. Instead of striving for perfect health, aim for supporting foundational health. Save 25% on your first month at ritual.com/thesqueeze. That's ritual.com/thesqueeze for 25% off your first month. I feel like the hardest part of working out isn't always the workout itself. It's staying consistent and knowing what to do when you actually show up. And for me, I've noticed I stay so much more consistent when everything feels streamlined and I don't have to overthink it. And when I don't have to plan my workout or wonder if I'm doing things correctly, that's usually when I fall off. And that's what I love about Peloton. It really takes the guesswork out so you can just focus on moving your body and actually enjoying it. The new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus is such a game changer because it's not just a treadmill. It's built for so many different types of workouts. It makes it so easy to build a full workout into your routine, even on busy days when you don't have a ton of time. And what's really cool is Peloton IQ gives you real-time strength coaching, helps you track your reps, and even corrects your form while you're working out. I feel like that's something most of us don't get unless we're working out one-on-one with a trainer. It also creates personalized plans and recommends classes based on your goals, your progress, and even your mood, which makes it feel more tailored and keeps you motivated instead of just doing random workouts. Let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. I'm curious, are there any characteristics that you relate to Dr. Santos? Like, what are things, do you see anything in yourself that you see in her?
Yeah, big time. She gets a real bad rep for being kind of a bitch and whatever. And I think starting out, I saw her almost in a similar way where I was like, oh yeah, she is kind of no good sometimes. But the more I got to do it and I don't know, live in it, I was like, damn, we're really similar. Because obviously not nice. Don't be mean. Don't be mean ever. But the insecurities that all of her behaviors come from, I'm just like, yeah, obviously, again, she's a human being. And I do kind of connect a lot to her mental health struggles and to the walls she puts up, because all of that, anytime she's kind of out punching at someone else, it's because she's really scared inside and trying to protect herself. And I very much relate to that. I also think she's funny, and I hope I'm funny. The way they write her, really funny. Yeah. They do a really great job.
No, I think you're funny. Don't worry. No, I feel like being a few episodes into season 1, your character definitely was the one that I was like intrigued by the most, because I know people in the healthcare world that do have that really tough exterior that they put on, and there's a whole other side. So I've been really excited to watch your character grow. Yeah. Especially in season 2, we have that bathroom scene where you see the scars on her leg. I'm curious, when you read that in the script, what's like the first thing that goes through your mind when you read that?
Well, actually, they told me about it beforehand.
Okay.
Because they wanted to make sure that I was okay with that, which was great. Wow. Scott Gemmell, he's awesome. He whenever there's something really like sensitive or personal, he'll reach out and kind of ask about it. And yeah, I think I was nervous because that's a very vulnerable thing to play and showcase. And also, I think we've seen a lot of misuse of self-harm plot lines in the past. And so I was nervous about it. I was like, okay, if we're doing this, then we have to like really do it right. And I still don't know because we don't see the episodes in advance. So I'm still nervous. I'm like, I hope this plays and I hope it comes off okay. But they're also so collaborative, and I had a lot to say about it because I was like, I want this to be done as well as possible and as sensitively as possible. So I would email the writers and with kind of my thoughts on how to explore it, and they were very open to that. But yeah, I definitely was nervous, but also happy that it was being talked about, because I think we explore a lot of mental health things in this show, obviously, especially like with the main focus being Robbie and his PTSD, and now in this season it's becoming clear, like, what is this motorcycle trip? Like, what are you really about to do? Mm-hmm. And that's a very important question, a very important conversation. But also, I think when we're always talking about it, kind of like, yeah, I feel like most of the scenes have been like him being like, I'm going to go kill myself anyway. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so getting to look at it through different characters and how it manifests differently for everyone, I think is the coolest part of it, because it is not the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Obviously, especially from different ages, from different backgrounds. Like it varies in experience. And yeah, I'm excited that we talk about it, but also nervous, because it's definitely a vulnerable thing.
Yeah. I love what you just said about like how everyone kind of like takes it differently, and people come from such like the ages and the backgrounds.
Yeah.
And there's the biggest reason what took me so long to like actually quit. Well, it's funny because I worked on COVID. I started originally as a like telemetry cardiac nurse, and then we switched to COVID. I was COVID for about 6 months. Yeah. And then we kind of went back. I would like float to the COVID unit here and there. But then I never got COVID working. I ended up visiting Taylor on set, and I got COVID. I was like, of all places.
Fuck,
like,
man.
Yeah, no, it was
Jesus.
It was really just it was really
my
comical.
God.
But I ended up getting like long COVID. I was so sick. I had to go on disability for 2 months. I literally couldn't work. I couldn't leave the house. But I think that was my body being like, dude, you got to like check in with yourself.
Yeah.
You're like not okay. But the nursing culture, and I know this is just like something in hospitals as well, no matter what profession you are in the healthcare field, there's definitely like a toxic, like there's obviously like seniority, but there's also like you have to tough it out to work through this. And like
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just keep
I
on
had
going.
so many like nurses on my floor be like, I'm the only one like from my new grad program. I'm the only one that could do it. And like, they would make jokes about like, because it was me and another girl who were like the new nurses on the floor. And they were like, let's see which one of you lasts longer. Like, and it's just like, it's so interesting, like that culture. So, and I'm stubborn. So like, I'm not a quitter. Like I literally just like worked my ass off in school. Like this is like, I never wanted to go in the hospital originally, but because everything closed, I was like, oh no, I like want to do something.
Here we go. Yeah.
So I got that job and I was like, great, guess I'm doing this. But I was so stubborn about like not wanting to quit. And I'm so thankful that I ended up getting COVID, because I would have just like gone down to part-time and like, you know, played with that a little bit. And it would have taken me so much longer to actually address my mental health. But I feel like what the show really shows you is that everyone is actually going through something, and everyone can go through, like with the whole Pitt Fest thing. You were all of these characters are experiencing the same, literally the same thing.
Trauma,
but everyone's going to go home and like take it differently. Yeah. So that's what I love, like that this show does, is it really, obviously, you know, every patient, everything that every person that comes in is, you know, things that either need to be talked about or, you know, like common, like liver cirrhosis, like something like that. But also it's so important that we're getting to see like how these things affect these healthcare professionals.
Well, it's also funny. I mean, obviously to a very different degree, I'm not saying we're the same. But in like with acting, I feel like you get that kind of toxic environment and that headspace of like, okay, I'm gonna work myself to death, and that is I have to feel like really proud of that. It's a very capitalist mindset. It's like it's built into the world we live in, and I've felt it as a theater actor. You get a lot of theater actors who feel really high and mighty of like, I've never called out, and I'm like, good for you, that's great, but also maybe you need to sometimes, and maybe you need to like, because if you're muscling through everything, then something really bad could happen later. Like I've seen people muscle through and then they fully lose their voice forever. Yeah. And it's like that, or you fully burn out and you're like, I cannot go back to the hospital. Like there's really no good comes from working yourself to death and making it this like point of pride, and we make it this way of being like, I'm better than you. And unfortunately, again, just a product of capitalism. But I think I feel like we're in a better time now. It's still not great, but we're getting to that point where we're talking about it. And I think that's the most important thing, is talking. And when you share, like, oh, this is what I'm going through, this is what you're going through. Oh, we're going through the same thing. Maybe there's something wrong. Like maybe something needs to be done here.
Yeah.
And
it's all parallel, no matter no matter what the career is, the feelings or everything is very, like, it's very parallel. It's all.
And having a show like The Pitt is a version of talking about it. It's inviting conversation. It's inviting people to look at this and be like, do you think that this is okay?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is hoping that people walk away with more empathy for healthcare professionals, obviously. But it's also like, it's human stories. That's what all of this is for. That's why I love to act. That's why we love to create. That's it, because it's all about telling stories about us.
Yeah.
And trying to learn from it instead of repeating mistakes over and over again.
So true. How, because you've been in just busy season between
busy
times, filming, press, award season, all of the things. How do you prioritize your mental health? Because I'm sure this, like, the swing is probably like a lot to handle.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. But because I've had different levels of it.
Yeah.
When I've worked before, there were those moments, and they were also very niche things still. It was Star Trek, and it was Goosebumps. So it was like, there are niche sectors of people are watching this. It's not like full blown everyone's watching. And this is the first time I've been in something where it's like, oh, no, everyone's watching it, which is amazing and a blessing. But it definitely changes your worldview a little bit, and also how you view. It can be hard to not always be looking at yourself through other people's eyes, because you become so aware of being perceived, and that can be a little scary when you always are thinking like, but what does this person think of me? And like, how would I look at me if I were that person? And then it becomes so me-centric. And that is really scary, because I'll like stop for a second and be like, I've been thinking about me and my perception so much. And like, God, go outside, like go volunteer, to hug someone, my God. And I think that has become, the biggest thing is like finding ways to kind of step out of it that I think has been easier in the past. This is like, we film for so long. We're filming for 8 months out of the year, and then we have like 3 months of a break, and then we go back. And so you kind of feel like you're always in it. And obviously, I'm not saying my experience is anywhere close to as traumatic as an actual healthcare professional, but when you are,
it's different
in that environment.
The same but different.
It definitely kind of gets to you, and there's like a thing that a lot of actors say. It's a famous like quote that your brain knows you're acting, but your body doesn't. And so when you're kind of always in that environment, and even though it's acting, you're still seeing like someone's guts spilling out and someone writhing in pain and screaming, or you're seeing this child crying. It's like, oh my God, like, oof, I know I was just acting and it wasn't that much of my day, but then I go home and I feel like terrible.
Yeah.
And so
real.
That's been kind of a new, I don't have the answer of what my kind of mental health centering and grounding is. I'm still finding it, because it is, it kind of changes every day. And it's a lot, but I think it's been a lot of leaning on people, like my friends.
Yeah.
Thank God for my friends. Oh my God. I've thought about this a lot. I, for a long time, did not have a group of girls. I didn't have like my girls.
Yeah.
Because when I was like a teenager, I had a group of girls in it, and it went very badly. And it was like very sad. And then about 3 years ago was when I gained just kind of suddenly this group of amazing women. And that, because I the way that my mental issues kind of can manifest is really isolating.
Yeah.
And really just kind of going into my hole and like stewing. And because I've gained all these friends, it's like, who also go through these things.
Yeah.
They're like, no, come out. Come out. You got to come out. You got to come be with the girls.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the biggest lifesaver is you just have to have a community. You have to have people around you who get what's going on too, which can be hard and isolating too when you're in a weird situation. Like this is something that now is such an unrelatable situation.
Yeah.
I hate how unrelatable I am. Like this is crazy. I'm experiencing such wonderful, beautiful, amazing things with success in whatever form that is. But it also comes with a different set of, some people just don't want to be your friend anymore because they're like, I can't relate to you. And like, you trigger an insecurity in me. And it's like, that's so valid and that's so okay. But also like, damn, lost some people there. And you have to keep trying to find the people who won't leave, who will stick with you, who will always understand what you're going through and listen to you. And it's just thank God for my girls.
Yeah, that's so special. Heading into the last few episodes of this season, what are you most excited for people to see this season? Like, what can they expect? What are you looking forward to watching, I guess, because you don't get to see the episodes ahead of time?
For these last couple episodes, I'd never remember what happens in this show because we filmed for so long.
You're like, where am I?
So like, God, when we like started our press tour and they were like, so episode 1, and I was like,
you're like, okay.
What happened in that one? I don't know.
Because I'm assuming you guys don't film. Do you film in? You don't film in order.
Yes, we do.
You do.
No, it's amazing. It's a beautiful gift. We film in order. Everything is chronological, except for like if there's something that this is filmed outside, we'll do that a week later. Or whatever. Yeah. And in Pittsburgh, we go to Pittsburgh for a week and we shoot all the Pittsburgh things.
Got it.
But for the most part, we are all in order, and that's amazing. That makes our lives and our jobs so much easier. But it also does mean that like, you go into the next one, it's like,
it's out.
That one's gone.
Yeah.
No idea. But no, going into these last ones, I think I'm excited about continuing to follow Santos, and with her kind of mental health struggles, getting to see her slowly letting people in, slowly letting herself have a community. I do feel like Isa is going to Santos like, come on, you gotta have friends. And I think it's true for a lot of the characters. You see a lot of people starting to really lean on each other, and you start to see it even now. I mean, with whatever episode is out now, like as you go on, you start to see pairs and people kind of finding their people, and I think that's a really beautiful message of the last couple episodes, is finding your people and finding the ones you can lean on and be yourself with, and actually like let down the walls with.
That's special. I'm like, I don't want it to end, so I really don't know when I'm gonna like watch. I mean, I definitely like binge it.
Well, have you gone back and watched ER?
No,
because that's
okay.
What I hear is like the thing.
Okay,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, yeah, maybe that'll be.
That's what my mom did.
Okay, great. So maybe I'll finish this and then I'll go.
And then she'll just be texting me and she'll be like, Noah, oh God, Noah with his drinking, and it's like, oh my God,
oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, well, last little thing. A little birdie maybe told me that you're heading back to Broadway.
Yeah,
can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm literally tonight going to fly to New York because I'm going to jump into a show called Just in Time. It is about Bobby Darin, the singer from like 50s and 60s. And I play Connie Francis. Sarah Hyland is playing it right now. She's incredible. I got to see her a few weeks ago. She's so wonderful. And yeah, I'm really excited to jump into it. I love theater. I miss theater. I think when we're doing these long stints of filming the Pitt, once I'm done, I'm like, I have to go back.
Yeah.
I need to people.
Yeah.
And I miss singing, and I get to really sing in this. It's so fun.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I'll be, my first show is April 1st. I'll be on with Matthew Morrison and then Jeremy Jordan. I'm very, very excited.
Wait, I'm going to be in New York in that time.
Come. Wait, come.
Wait, no, I really will.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is so
text
exciting.
me.
This is so exciting.
Let's go out.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yay. Well,
Yay.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
coming and
having
chatting.
me.
This is so fun.